What is the most valuable thing that you have? Something that you would rather die than live without? Friends? Family? Purpose?
We will gently sever your banana.
Yeah, I'd like to change my answer to my Richard. Show me his Richard. DanDaDan is the anime of the season. The animation engulfs you in the world, a world where supernatural phenomenons lurk around every corner. Everything that crazy bald guy says on his podcast might just be true in this world. It has some of the most groundbreaking action scenes combined with characters that you can't help but love. And if you give DanDaDan a chance and ignore whatever out of context clip I put at the end of this sentence, then I know you won't regret watching it.
If I gave you my wiener, would that save your son's life?
Gotcha, bitch. This is a romance anime. Momo wants a man like Kin Takakura. He's like the Keanu Reeves of Japan, so I see the vision. The problem is, men these days are more like Keanu Reeves in Knock Knock and less like Keanu Reeves in Fortnite. While she's walking to class, she sees people throwing paper at a boy. To stop them from bullying this stranger, she sits in between them. Momo leaves after they stop, but Kin follows right behind her.
I think I know what you're into! You're into the occult, aren't you?
You see, Kin is someone you might see wearing a tinfoil hat or showing up to Area 51 because he believes in aliens. Now, I won't mock conspiracy theorists. After all, my personal conspiracy theory is that furries are just rich people playing a big prank on us. But Momo doesn't share that same sentiment and calls him stupid. But after feeling bad, to cheer him up, she says that even if she doesn't believe in aliens, she does believe in ghosts.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
To prove each other wrong, they make a deal. Momo will go to a place where aliens allegedly are, and Kin will go to a place where ghosts allegedly are, with the loser becoming the other's gopher. Kin arrives at a dark tunnel with multiple signs telling him to keep out. An uneasy feeling sinks in, but Kin reluctantly enters. He only hears the echo from his own voice until eventually he sees bloody footprints.
I'll let you suckle my teats, boy. If you let me gobble your dung.
Through no fault of his own, Kin may have lost his Richard and had a curse placed on him. At the same time, in front of Momo appears... Oh, aliens just look like ugly bastards. They abduct her. I know where this is going. Tell her that their species is all male. I watched Alien Resurrection.
We shall have intercourse with you.
I knew it! Luckily, she's able to activate her latent psychic abilities and escape with Kin, who is now possessed until he can get his Johnson back. This begins their journey to get Kin's pecker back, which is honestly such a romantic gesture. I wished a woman would go on a journey with me to get back what the doctors took from me as a baby.
Why is every paranormal thing trying to take my junk away?
This was one of the most unpredictable stories that I've ever seen. If you told me that ghosts were performing transgender surgeries on trespassers and aliens were assaulting our women, I would assume I was just watching some random US news channel. The reason for its unpredictability is because the mangaka behind DanDaDan is none other than Tatsu Yukinobu. That probably doesn't mean anything to you, but he says that he was inspired by Sharknado, which should tell you everything you need to know about his mental state. You will probably notice that DanDaDan switches genres constantly. It can be romance, supernatural, comedy, hentai. This was actually done on purpose after one of his editors told him to draw freely without thinking about anything, even if it's just one page. Despite the constant whiplash being probably the weakest point of the story, it was also what made it so entertaining. I mean, the idea that they should be looking for his missing balls came while he was getting really drunk with his editor. Yeah, they're making the Dream Blunt rotation. The characters all walk like they have a lobster in their pants that will pinch their balls if they walk normally. Oh, sorry Ken, that was an insensitive comment. The characters all walk around like they have a lobster in their pants that will pinch their clit. The characters all bounce off each other so well, while no character overshadows the other. The director even stated that, "I wanted to blur the lines between protagonist and co-protagonist. Okarun and Momo both drive the story forward, and their individual arcs are equally important." Now, I'm gonna be honest, recently I've become a bit sexist against female characters. The other day, I was on a date with a woman. She was just rambling on and on about her father's chemotherapy or something, and I walked out thinking, she had some poor character writing. But after Momo and Mao Mao, I'm seeing a theme, I realized that a lot of mangakas just don't write compelling female characters like this. If I could describe Momo in one word, it would be... bitch. I was gonna go more for feisty, but sure. Momo is what we call a gal. She's confident, sometimes brash, using language that's typically associated with male delinquents. Despite her outward demeanor, Momo has a softer side. For the record, I stole that word for word from an interview with the voice actress for Momo, which shows her dedication and my plagiarism. But look at her, how could you not love that? Every time I see Ken, I just see Chicken Little. That guy is Chicken Little.
The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
He's just a socially awkward guy who's had people throw paper at him his entire life. What a shitty thing to do. I never thought there would be a day where I watched a shy character go, I don't want to see your panties, and be like, this is my favorite thing, give me 2 of them. I do find it a bit unfair that to gain powers, Momo lost nothing while he lost his balls to gain his, but at least he isn't a pet, they lose theirs for free.
Mickey, what did turtles do to me?
You know what? I like this ship. I enjoy scrolling through Twitter to see all the fan art. This is one of the nicest romances in a sometimes romance-focused anime that I've ever seen. So if you're one of those filthy Ira shippers, I would only accept her if she grew out her hair, dyed it blue, and started glowing.
I'm just way too pretty. I'm beauty and kindness personified.
How dare you stand where she stood? An aspect that many people didn't like was the lowbrow humor. Comedy is just about the only thing I feel passionately about, well, that and women's rights, phone number in the description. So even though most of the jokes in this video were lowbrow humor to stay on theme, I don't love the style. But this was some of the best lowbrow humor that I've seen in anime, and I'm certain it's because of the characters. Think of a funny sitcom like The Office. Roll the clip.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture.
Okay, I already see one. Give them.
They're the same picture.
Now, let's recreate the same clip, but replace the characters with whoever I think of. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture.
Could I already see one? Give them!
They're the same picture. See, the joke doesn't work because nobody would believe the situation because nobody's a better detective than Dora. Creepy Nuts, pun intended, made another addicting intro with visuals so good people are making videos breaking down every frame. The animation, Normally, I don't like to go into detail about animation, but I have been working on an Ari Ferretta video for a long time and I need this. The art would constantly switch color palettes depending on the mood while still having dynamic shots and odd angles feeling more similar to a live-action movie. They show people walking. I'm used to seeing walking in a completely straight line without showing their legs like reverse Powerpuff Girls characters. DanDaDan loves switching between first-person and third-person perspectives. This was my favorite scene from the show, which the director of episode 7 said, I remember seeing the shots of Acro Silky coming down the stairs from her point of view, and I buried my face in my hands, wondering how we were gonna make this work. That was definitely a cry for help, but this is how art is made. Even scenes without audio spoke to me. Please help, they're overworking me. This may have been one of the best English dubbed voice acting performances, with the exception of Ghost Stories, of course. For years, dubs have always been more like voiceovers than voice acting. In the early dubbing years, it used to be more like, I will not let you destroy my world. But they really brought these characters to life, and even if they added slang, it was better than a one-for-one translation. The one downside to the dub is they decided to randomly censor scenes, which is stupid. Overall, I will say there's not a single aspect of the anime production that I would change, which is wild because I am built like someone that might say, let me see what Ashmangold thinks before I formulate my own opinion. In conclusion, that's not what a grandma looks like. You're gonna have people going into retirement homes looking for a wife only to leave with an inheritance check. 0 out of 10. I'll stick with the real monsters versus aliens. Alright, is this thing on? Of course it's on! Why do YouTubers do that where they're like, is this thing on? Obviously it's on, it's turning red, it's flat. Anyways, I forgot to do an outro and it's 11 o'clock and I figured I may as well just do one now, which is going very well. Click here to check out my second channel, click here to check out my most recent video, and click here to check out the recommended video.